Yo, what's good, fam? It's your boy, Mr. 1111, aka Ace One. You already know what it is. Nothing but love straight from the heart. So, on my channel, Don't Shoot Me, I'm Just a Messenger. Today, we're going to be speaking about quantum physics. Something I'm kind of new to, but at the same time, I think that is something that we all need to know about, or at least have some sort of understanding about. Um, what I want to speak about is how atoms are formed based on your sight. More or less, atoms don't take form until you physically look at it, meaning that the objects literally form according to how you perceive them, hence the saying, eye of the beholder. There was a study called the double slit experiment where they sent atoms through two slits. Um, and on the other side of the slits was a crystal. The crystal would split the atoms into two versions of itself, right? Each version will go into two different directions, and placed in them directions were two plates, platonic plates, but we just gonna call them plates. The two plates were set up at an equal distance from the crystal, so they both had the same exact distance from the crystal. The plates would absorb the atom particles and trace where it made contact with the plates. So it'll come and then it'll say, "Hey, it came here." What they found out is based on whether the atoms was being observed or not, the atoms would have a certain placement. For instance, um, if you were to point your finger on the wall, and you were to place your finger on that direct point, you would know without a shadow of a doubt that your finger landed right there where you wanted it because you're actually looking at it. But if you were to turn your eyes away and place your finger on that same exact spot, you wouldn't know if your finger actually landed on that spot or somewhere around it, but you would just assume in your mind that you're either on that point or somewhere near it. But you wouldn't actually know until you actually look back at your finger, and then you would know if you were on that point or not, right? Meaning that if the atoms were being looked at, they would automatically go to a certain point. But if you were to send them same atoms one by one without looking at them, then they would be placed in a different area. So what that means is